And now I'm going to be putting in some green leaves into the foreground, and then which will evolve into beautiful voluptuous flowers. So just taking this green Posca pen and filling it in, and of course you can use paint at any time, but I enjoy the feeling of the Posca pens these days. There is a little bit more control than with the brush. So where am I going to take this? I think that's going to go up there, and it's going to go up towards a wonderful voluptuous fantasy flower of my own creation. Let's see where it will, see what will evolve out of these leaves. As you can see, I've taken the plant through to preserve her modesty, and also because I do sell on the internet and I have to share on social media, so sometimes I like to be a little bit more subtle with my nudity. Well, not mine, but my painting's nudity. So we have a flower coming through right here, and it's going to be a kind of tulip. And I have this feeling that I'm going to use paint for the flower. I'm just going to sketch it in for now. Basically just take your time to see what you think, where you want the flowers to go. These flowers bring the eye directly into the foreground and create a kind of division between the foreground and the background, and a nice little conversation between the foreground and the background. And I'm going to make these a sort of spiral shape. So just taking my cadmium red here and some white. Mixing them together. This is a lovely bright pink. Where's my little brush? take my little brush, I need some, take that to the point. There's something very, very feminine about these flowers, like yoni shaped leaves. Now the next thing is, what am I going to do with this flower? I want this to be a flower too. So I'm going to think about that one. Perhaps more of a multi-petaled. Yeah, I feel good about that shape. Get my brush again, my little brush. It's been in the water. Some loaded up with some pink from my palette. It's actually quite late at night now. I've waited all evening to get back onto this. So there's some relative quiet in the evening. You probably noticed a slight change in the light. It's actually I'm using my daylight light, or it's actually called a sad lamp, which is supposed to prevent seasonal affective disorder, but I tend to use it for painting at night. I don't often use it at night. I tend to prefer to sleep, but actually I just felt I wanted to carry on. It's about 10:30 at night, not very late. I feel like I need to find a finer tipped brush. So we have a few, excuse me, a few flowers coming into the scene now. I'm going to start putting some yellow in and see how I get on with it. And it's going to be another tulipy type flower. See how this works. There. The petals are slightly more open. I like how there's a kind of slight translucence to the Posca pens when you lay them down like this. And you have a little bit more control over the consistency. There's less viscosity to the compared to paint. Easier to control. Yeah, I quite like that yellow. Yeah. My green. So the petals are coming up here to hold it. Some leaves. I'm going to look at that for a while and see what else needs to be done. Probably put some grasses and some dots. I enjoy doing that. Almost has a feeling of it being underwater when you do that. Like reeds just growing up. These ethereal, dreamlike flowers. Maybe turning into spirals. And I'll probably go on like this for some time, adding in more and more. I'll come back to you when there's more added so you can see what I've done.